Hey guys, um, I've actually decided to restructure the site, my vlog site, whatever you want to call it. Um, I'm actually going to try and turn it into something a little more constructive than just a page where I have my outbursts of emotional nonsense, and um, also trying to pass on some inspiration to other people about ways to ride through the storm of having bipolar and anxiety disorders and that sort of thing. Um, what I really want to try and do is turn it into not just what it was before, but something bigger, something greater. Um, I want to turn it not just in as a private blog, but also as almost like a business page, like to not just talk about me and not just discuss issues with mental illness and that sort of thing too, but also as a platform for me to sell myself as well. Um, so I've just decided to do this tonight. So after looking around and looking at a few other blogs around, and I've actually just kind of thought, you know what, enough sitting on my hands, enough waiting for things to happen. I'm going to make things happen. So, yeah. So in the spirit of new beginnings, oh, pardon me for the yawning, sorry. Oh, I should edit that out, but you know I won't. In the spirit of new beginnings, well, I'm going to start at the start. Well, my name's Adam Cornish, and I've been suffering from I've been diagnosed with bipolar 2 and borderline personality, as well as mid-range anxiety disorders, and I went through a journey. On my journey was a very similar journey to a lot of other people's. I've been in destructive relationships, abusive relationships. I sunk into alcoholism and drug addiction. And I lived a life where I pretty much lied 24/7. And a lot of people still resent me for that. And I can completely understand. But the thing is, when your home life is doesn't help make things better. And because the thing is, I'm a child of a Vietnam veteran, and without going into detail, because in all honesty, it's kind of none of your business. Let's just say things were rough, and you learn the patterns you learn as an adult. You kind of absorb from your parents as a child, and I'm not. While this video and the blog and everything else and my book I'm working on as well, the purpose of them isn't to like trying to garner sympathy or anything like that. It's more about the journey. And I spent basically 30 years of my life pretty much hating who I was. I didn't think I was worth much of anything. And I had all these raging emotions that I didn't understand. Like, I can remember my first episode was at school, and I didn't know that there was actually something wrong with me. I just thought that I was an emotional person, and I also kind of blamed it on the way my dad was treating me and that sort of thing too. But I'd be at school and I'd be happy as Larry. I'd be laughing and I'd feel like invincible. I'd be on top of the world. I could, when you have those moments when you're extraordinarily energetic and you're hyperactive and you can't stop talking and you can't sit still, and it feels like every word that comes out of your mouth is solid gold. And I felt I was charming with girls, and I made people laugh, and I felt I was popular, and I felt all these things, and I loved that side of it. But of course, what goes up must come down, And so when the crash would happen, when the crashes would come along, and it took me a long time to work out how to deal with these things, deal with that. Because look, I love being manic. Like, I love it to an extent. But being the downs, the depression, I won't lie, I've attempted suicide quite a few times in my life. And thankfully, due to my, I wouldn't say incompetence, but maybe I'm just not destined to. I don't know. I don't really believe in fate or anything like that. But yeah. So I don't know. I kind of got on a tangent, so I'm trying to work out where I was again. But yeah. So I was rapid cycling. Like, I'd have 2 or 3 days of being just completely hyperactive and can't sleep, can't eat properly, can't sit still, and that was fun as a child to an extent. But it was as I got to my late teens, when I started drinking and started doing drugs and started having sex and all these other things, that I kind of went down a path that was, well, for basically almost 10 years I was pretty much an addict. And I started with stealing alcohol from my father's liquor cabinet, and I'd go out 4 nights a week, sometimes 5 nights a week, all night long. Come home at 7 in the morning, sleep till maybe lunchtime. Sometimes I'd sleep till 4 in the afternoon, wake up, go out again. And I thought that the alcohol was okay, because the places I used to go, I had a lot of friends there, but they weren't really my friends. They were people I enjoyed their company and things, but my idea of a real friend is someone who looks out for you, and I had a lot of darkness inside of me, which I was pretty much trying to drown. And when the effects of alcohol changed me to the point where I couldn't control my anger anymore. Because the thing with me is that I'm terrified of my anger. And that's got a lot to do possibly with my father, because I see a lot of my parents in me. And look, don't get me wrong, I love my parents to bits. I really love them. I really do. But when the sides of people who you inherit things from, there's sides of everybody that we're not proud of, and I didn't want to be like that. And so the drinking slowed down, but then the drugs increased. And so what started as sneaking off for a joint every now and then turned into, oh, let's have some pills, and then the pills turned into more pills, and then more pills, and then I started getting crushed up pills and snorting them, and then started doing cocaine. Well, mind you, I could never afford any of this, but I knew people, and I owed favours, or I'd steal, I'd manipulate people. But I never stole from my friends, and I never stole from my family. But even now, and I haven't done any of these things in a long time, probably last five or 6 years, maybe a little bit longer. I haven't done any of that in that long of time, but I still feel incredibly guilty about it, because I've always believed deep down inside, I believed I was a good person and that I was better than that. But like most people who self-medicate, you kind of have to reach rock bottom. And for me, it was, well, my most serious suicide attempt. And I woke up the next morning, well, let's just say I had about 40 tablets, and I sculled pretty much half of a bottle of vodka. I'm a lightweight alcohol-wise, so half a bottle's enough, plenty. And I woke up in the morning covered in my own vomit and pills everywhere. So like, and the first thing I thought, ironically, was, oh, you're such a fucking screw up. You can't even kill yourself properly. And I wallowed in that for a little while too. But then what happened is that I tried to change my attitude, and I had to make a real conscious effort to, because unfortunately a lot of the time my brain instantly goes to negativity, and because I've kind of never really felt like I was worth much, and I always saw my value in how other people saw me, and hence the destructive relationships and going from girlfriend to girlfriend and then cheating on girlfriends and all those things I've done over the years, just because then that craving and a need to be loved, and the need to feel approval, and all these things. And so I made the first and most important step, which is I was like, I need help. I need to talk to somebody about this, about the things I've been holding in, like things from being a kid, like being young, all those things. Because what it was for me is that when I look back on my childhood, I don't have an awful lot of memories that are good that I can bring up really quickly, whereas the negative memories, the really bad times, are always very fresh in my mind, and I still dream about them frequently. Like even today, even to this day, I dream about some of the things, and but that's my penance. That's my thing, and that's part of why I'm deciding. And part of, like, I started the blog a while ago now, and it was very intermittent, I think, is the word. It started off as a soapbox. It was about me complaining about my life and about girls and about feeling inadequate and not being good enough, and all that kind of stuff that most people don't give a shit about, which I can understand, because everyone's wrapped up in their own shit anyway. So why the hell would anyone want to read about someone's going woe is me type nonsense? So then what I did is I decided to turn it into something a little different, and I started it as a way to chronicle my journey and to talk about the little things that I feel that I can do for other people, in terms of, well, because I'm very good at detecting my moods. I've learnt to, and I have my little things I do to help control the mood swings. Like, for an example, when I feel a swing coming on, when I can be happy 1 minute and the next minute I'm miserable, I use things like music and that sort of thing to help, because I've got some songs on my playlist on my iPod which will perk me up, chirp me up, and make me feel happy, and that sort of thing. And because I've learnt that no outside source can take away the pain that you feel and that you have all the time. But I suppose the biggest thing for me is that I learnt to find some hope. Because when I woke up with the pills all over the bed and covered in vomit, I was, besides being ashamed, when I look back on that and I thought about it, it kind of made me realise something, that just because things are horrible today, they might not be tomorrow. And while things can really suck, like things can be terrible sometimes, and that's why it's important to have people in your life who are real people, like real friends, people who love you for who you are, not because of what you do for them, or all these other little selfish sort of reasons. But people who like know you and understand you, and I look, in all honesty, I don't have all that many people in my life who really understand, but because unless you go through it yourself, how can you really understand? But like I've got friends like Daniel and Jacinta and to an extent Simon and Claire, who's fantastic. I love Claire to death. And Cassandra, Cass. People who I can lean on if I really need to. The thing is with me that I try not to lean on other people when I'm feeling really dark, because I don't want to trouble anyone with my nonsense. And so, but that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing for the last few years, is breaking that cycle and breaking the prison that I was living in, the prison of my own pain. And so, and while I'm not all the way there, because let's be honest, it's when you have an anxiety disorder or bipolar or whatever, it's always a matter of time. Like I know in the back of my mind when I'm on cloud nine and I'm riding high and I feel on top of the world. Like sometimes I feel like I'm John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, like strutting down the street. Like I'll sing out loud in the public and all that kind of junk. Like all these things, just ride the wave. I know in the back of my mind that eventually I'll crash. And eventually I'll want to lock myself away and hide and all that sort of thing. But what I've learnt is that the darkness can be fought off by the light. And I learned how important it is to let people in. To just, well, because when you're going through things like this, it can be an extremely lonely experience. Because when you're dealing with a mental illness, it's essentially something that nobody can see. But that's why people are really important. That's why they matter. And that's why I've got people in my life who I can talk to, people who can distract me, and I've got people who light my life up, make me feel things I never thought I could feel. And like I've got like two of my favourite people in the world is Bronwyn and Claire. They make me feel normal. Or not normal, they make me feel special. And they provoke me, and they prod me, and they try and make me laugh, and they do all these little things. And through that, I learnt that people really do give a shit. But the thing is, you have to be yourself. And I used to tell so many lies and make up these elaborate stories about my life that people kind of saw me as a joke. And I resented them for it, because I was like, it's like what I call it wearing a mask. It's like adopting a persona so that you can feel acceptable to other people, or you can handle being in a public place around a big mob of people, or whatever it is. And I learnt that people will never see the real you unless you show them. You know, like, it's very, it's hard. Like, in a way, it's harder now than it was in my younger years, because I was drunk and high all the fucking time. And I was kidding myself that I was happy with the life I had. Like, I was drinking every day. Like, I was waking up in the morning and drinking, and I was drinking every night, and I would, like, sleep with random girls, and anything to feel something different. And, because, like, it's very hard to talk about, but I feel that by doing so, then maybe I can help to inspire somebody else to do the same. Because at the end of the day, we're all we're all, we've all got one life to live, and the last time I tried to kill myself, I realised then, afterwards, that I didn't want to die. And it wasn't for a reason like protecting my mother from finding my body or anything like that, because that's what stopped me when I was a kid, when I was younger and living at home. Like I remember getting my dad's shotgun out of his. He used to keep it up in the top of the cupboard, and he kept ammo with the thing. And I was literally one movement of this from painting the wall in my blood with my brains and blood. But the love that I have for my family, the love that I have for my friends, and I don't have that many friends, but I'm happier. I'm happier, and I'm more me. I'm the real me now, and I've been the real me for the last few years. Because I can't be what other people want me to be just so they'll accept me anymore. I'm just me. And if you don't like it, then that's your problem. And if you don't like it, that means you don't want to be around me, or you don't want to be my friend, or my girlfriend, or whatever it is, then look, it'll suck. It'll upset me. It'll probably make me feel things in my mind that I won't like. Like, it's very easy for me to start hating myself again and that sort of thing. And so I remind myself every single day that I have a gift to share with the world, and I have something that some people don't have, which I'm genuine, and I care. And while everyone has ego to an extent, I just want to help people. I want to try and make the world a better place. And that's why I'm allowing myself to be filmed and on bloody YouTube getting emotional about shit. Because, and if people are going to troll me, then they're going to troll me, and I don't care. I learnt through my earlier YouTube videos to develop a bit of a thick skin when it comes to dickhead commentators. But commenters, not commentators. But yeah. So that's what the plan is. The plan is to expose everything. The plan is to no secrets. People who know me can read me like I'm a book, but I'm gonna expose everything, because I've talked about in previous videos about doing a video when I'm manic and when I'm depressed, and I've always been terrified to do so. But I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to just throw it all out there, warts and all, and hope for the best. And yeah. I'm also going to try and use it as a means to, sell myself, my talents as a writer and a motivational speaker and all those sort of things. I'm going to try not to make it all doom and gloom. I'm going to try and talk about the things I love. Try and talk about like geek culture and pop culture and tech and social media and politics. Probably not politics as much, because I tend to lean towards the left, but I'm kind of more in the middle now than either way. Which I think is normal, because you can't be completely leaning. If you're like, I'm liberal on some things and I'm conservative on others. And so, as most people should be. But yeah, enough politics talk. Anyway, I hope that anybody who watches this can understand what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to do. And if you feel so inclined, spread the word. You don't have to. I don't care. I do care, but you don't have to. I'm not going to beg for likes and favourites and all that sort of shit. And I'm trying my best to keep the language to a minimum, because I'm a bit of a potty mouth. But yeah, and I look forward to seeing where this journey takes me. I look forward to looking back on this in a few years' time and thinking that at least I tried to do something. Because I've learnt that, life doesn't happen. Like, you have to take it. You have to grab it by the horns and say, fuck you, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna chase my dreams, and I'm gonna prove all the people that said I would never amount to anything, I'm gonna prove them wrong. And not just to say that I was right, but for my own peace of mind more than anybody else's. And I hope you all can understand that. And yeah, so I'm going to try and actually plan videos too, but because I'm lazy, probably won't happen. But yeah, still not sure where I'll start my first videos and things like that. But I'm looking forward to seeing where I take this thing, and hopefully I can have you all come along with me on it. And look, I'm doing this because not just for me, but I'm doing this for you too. And what I really want, I want you to, other people to feel like they can share their stories too. So, because I'm going to be putting this on my YouTube channel as well as on my blog. So, please, if you can, share your story, share a part of your story. Don't have to tell me who you are, and if you don't want to make a video thing, you don't have to. But just talk. Just get something off your chest. Because the thing is, with the mental illness, it's with any kind of mental illnesses really, it's a prison inside of our mind. And what I've learned is through therapy and psychologists and psychiatrists and even a bit of medication, is that I learned that I wasn't the only one. And that's what I'm trying to do now, is to show people that you're not the only one, that there are other people who can understand the darkness that we live with, and they can possibly help to alleviate the hopelessness and the loss and the grief and the pain and the loneliness and all these things. So if you can, please share something. It doesn't even have to be with me. With a friend or your family or somebody. Just release that pressure just a little bit. And because anything's possible. It really is. Anything is possible. And I hope that I can help other people see that too. So yeah, that's about it from me. I'm going to hopefully make another video in a couple of days. And we'll see where this thing goes. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I love you all very much. And I shall see you when I see you.